I was very upset. This played out in different ways for me. As I mean, I definitely had depressions about it, bouts. I've had self-esteem issues. I had confidence issues.
For over 30 years, DJ Spinderella was an integral part of Salt-N-Peppa, the legendary hip-hop group that broke barriers for women in the industry. Her talent, commitment, and loyalty helped define their sound and elevate their success. Yet, despite being part of their journey from the very beginning, Spinderella would later find herself discarded, her contributions diminished, and her legacy nearly erased. What really happened behind the scenes? Why did the group that once embraced her suddenly cast her aside? And how did it all nearly ruin her life? Make sure you subscribe so you will get all updates from us. It all began in 1986 when Spinderella, just 16 years old, was introduced to Salt-N-Peppa by their producer, Herbie Is-All. The group's original DJ LaToya Hanson had missed multiple rehearsals and appearances, forcing them to look for a replacement. Spinderella, with her raw talent and enthusiasm, was brought in just as Salt-N-Peppa's debut album was being released. She wasn't just a DJ, she quickly became an essential part of the trio, contributing to their music and performances, traveling across the country with them, and solidifying their status as one of the most iconic female hip-hop acts of all time. For 3 decades, Spinderella was everywhere with Salt-N-Peppa. She was on their album covers, in their music videos, and on stage for countless performances. She even played a major role in the group's reunion tours and Vegas residencies. But despite this, Salt-N-Peppa started to distance themselves from her, subtly downplaying her role. They would later claim that she was never an official member, merely a hired DJ and not as integral to the group's brand as the public believed. It was an absurd claim, given that Spinderella had been with them for nearly their entire career. But what really triggered the separation? Fans have long speculated that personal tensions had been brewing for years. And while Spinderella remained silent for a long time, cracks in their relationship started becoming evident in 2018. That year, Salt-N-Peppa were announced as part of the New Kids on the Block mixtape tour, a highly anticipated event that was supposed to be a nostalgic celebration of 90s music. Spinderella, naturally, was expected to join them after all. She had been a major part of their journey. But when the tour began in 2019, fans were shocked to see that she was missing. It wasn't long before Spinderella took to social media to reveal the heartbreaking truth. She had been fired through an email. After months of being led to believe she was still part of the group, she was suddenly cut off without warning. Worse still, Salt-N-Peppa had never informed the public about her absence, leading fans to assume she was still involved. Feeling betrayed and disrespected, Spinderella made the painful decision to announce her departure herself, making it clear that she had been excluded against her will. The fallout was brutal. Spinderella, who had dedicated her entire career to Salt-N-Peppa, now found herself isolated and struggling with the reality of being removed from the group that had defined her life. She later revealed that the experience took a deep toll on her mental health, leading to depression, self-esteem issues, and a loss of confidence. But the betrayal didn't stop there. Just a few months later, she made the shocking decision to sue Salt-N-Peppa for unpaid royalties, multiple breaches of contract, fraud, and intentional misrepresentation. In the lawsuit, Spinderella detailed how she had been unfairly treated for years. She claimed that Salt-N-Peppa had continuously excluded her from financial deals and had failed to pay her rightful share of royalties. One of the key incidents she pointed to was a compilation album released in the early 2000s, for which she was promised $125,000 a payment that never arrived. There was also a planned television show that was supposed to tell the story of the group's rise to fame. Spinderella alleged that she was promised 1/3 of the profits, but was instead only invited to appear as a guest, receiving minimal compensation while Salt-N-Peppa took the majority of the earnings. Despite being treated unfairly, Spinderella continued working with the group, hoping things would improve. She even agreed to a Las Vegas residency with them in 2018 and 2019, only to find herself once again being paid late and inconsistently. When she finally pushed back and demanded what she was owed, she was unceremoniously fired. The lawsuit she filed wasn't just about money, it was about recognition. It was about reclaiming the legacy she had helped build, only to be shut out of it. The lawsuit was eventually settled privately, but the damage had already been done. If Salt-N-Pepa had any regrets about how they handled things, they never showed it. In fact, they continued to exclude Spinderella from key moments in their legacy, the most glaring example being the release of their biopic in 2021. The film, which was supposed to tell the story of Salt-N-Pepa's rise to fame, conveniently left out Spinderella's contributions. While the movie heavily featured their journey as a duo, Spinderella's presence was barely acknowledged. For Spinderella, this was yet another devastating blow. She took to social media to express her disappointment, calling out Salt-N-Pepa for erasing her from the narrative. She pointed out that the group had always promoted female empowerment, yet they had disempowered her by excluding her from the very story she had helped shape.
It's a lot of times they ask, for Salt-N-Pepa to talk or be here, and they don't have Spinderella. It's out of our hands, and she always blames us, think that's, to fight. We do fight, but sometimes they no, we just want, the Salt-N-Pepa. And it's hard, and that was a lot of that constant, and she wants to say, no, don't do this. She's instead, right. I'm like, I'm doing this. She's like, this is the
shape. She called the move unacceptable and spoke about how painful it was to see her contributions dismissed. Despite everything, Spinderella remained determined to tell her own story. She began working on her memoir, a deeply personal account of her journey in the music industry, the highs and lows, and the betrayal she endured. She made it clear that while Salt-N-Pepa may have tried to erase her from their legacy, she would not allow herself to be silenced. Even after everything that happened, fans continued to rally behind Spinderella, recognizing the injustice she had faced. Many called out Salt-N-Pepa for their treatment of her, arguing that they had done her dirty. But when asked about Spinderella's exclusion, Salt-N-Pepa remained vague, claiming that they had tried to reach out to her and that the situation was complicated. Their response only fueled more criticism, as it became clear that they had no real intention of making amends. To this day, the rift between Spinderella and Salt-N-Pepa remains unresolved. While Spinderella has stated that she doesn't want to abandon their legacy, she has also made it clear that she deserves respect and recognition for her role in shaping their success. She has said that any potential reunion would only happen if they address the deep-rooted issues that caused the split in the first place. Ultimately, Spinderella's story is a cautionary tale about loyalty, betrayal, and the harsh realities of the music industry. She gave everything to Salt-N-Pepa, only to be discarded when it was convenient for them. Yet, despite the pain and heartbreak, she has refused to let their actions define her. She continues to fight for her legacy, proving that no one, not even those who once stood beside her, can erase her truth. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Spinderella was done wrong? Or was Salt-N-Pepa justified in their actions? The debate continues, but one thing is certain: Spinderella's legacy in hip-hop can never be erased.